As a parent, a teacher, or even education ministry official, you will agree that in usual classroom situations, you encounter unique challenges in learning. These present a new dimension in education which is not catered for even within our various education review reports. Today, viewers, we sample for you difficulties in learning that are either ignored or merely wished away.
At one point, he used to be a street boy. He was rejected by his own parents. And I took him and started taking care of him. I took him to school. And then after some time, when I came back to Nairobi, the boy was no longer in school. Then I met the professor. And when I greeted the professor, he accepted to take him. Right now, I feel so happy because my son Stephen is going to become a man.
I have passed a lot of things in my life. I have been mistreated by my mom and been told that I'm not supposed to be ready. I'm supposed to be working in the garden. And right now, I'm learning, and I thank God for learning.
I've been having a boy here with me, my lovely young boy. Sammy has been with me. He was born 1990. We tried very much. We took him to the best schools we could. And he did well. In the class, he's doing very well. But during the examination, he fails. He doesn't do anything. He forgets. So we really had to employ people to help in the house, in the schools, qualified teachers as well. But nothing. He did not do very well in 8, and from 4. Eventually, we took him to the Unetical College. Very bright young man and bright. But when he sits for the examinations, he forgets everything. My friend, when I went to visit the professor, he interviewed my boy for 5 minutes. After that, he told the boy to go out and he wanted to talk with me. And he told me your boy had a problem during the bath. And I looked at him. I thought first that perhaps this man, knowing education, I thought this man is a professor, but he sounded like a prophet. Because he told me exactly what happened. He said he had a problem during the bath. I said yes. The mother had a very bad high blood pressure during the bath. And the boy was in incubator for 1 month. And he said, this can be reversed, my friend. I looked at him and we finished the talk. So I just been thinking, the most serious thing which really came in my mind, why is the system in the world, particularly Kenya, Africa, we are only going for the cream, the top cream. You know milk? We only go for the cream, the old milk. I don't know whether we just throw them or we do. There are so many talented kids, but we don't have anywhere to take them. So I would like to encourage, I know that there are many parents who are suffering like we did. I thank God that I hear the president is here. Both president of the world and the African president, you are lucky you are here, parents. So we should encourage. We don't need to pour the old milk and only save the stream.
As a parent, I want to say I learned about DAL through the media. And when I visited this place, I was actually taking my daughter here. My daughter here happened to be the other side, you understand, parents. So when you compare the two children, you can actually burden one because this guy is sharp. I kept wondering why she cannot grasp. She has a lot of content in the mind, but when it goes to writing it down, it doesn't come. So when I was going to see to the professor, I was actually taking her to find out what the problem was, and she went through the machine, and I was able to actually, as her parent now, to understand her even more.
I got to know about DAC through media and TV, and my husband and I got interested because we desired to know exactly what could be good for our children. Riziki is a student of Daystar, but we didn't really feel that we got to know exactly what she is talented in or gifted. And so we decided to take a step. We went to Dalk Buruburu, we were referred to professor, and we ended up in Westlands. And a few minutes of my daughter and I interacting with the Professor Obura, we understood so much. I realized as a family we've struggled with things. We have been either pushing her to do things she cannot handle, or she is continuing in a course which she hadn't quite conceptualized what that may lead her into. And so a short test revealed things that we did not know. Now, Riziki, for us, she is an adopted daughter. And so when the professor asked for bio data, we don't have. But he was able to help us to understand where she's coming from.
I'm grateful about the dog. It has made me understand what my capabilities are and not to struggle too much, just to understand things and go with my giftings and talents.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Patrick Giacchino. I came in with my son, play Giacchino, all the way from Kisumu. I would like to thank Professor Obura. And to me, Professor Obura, you look like a lone ranger in this, because you've been pushing this all too much. To my fellow men, I just have one advice for you. I used to perform very well, right from primary school all the way to the university. And when your son is not performing as good or as well, then men usually say, "Ye mjinga kama." Thank you, Professor Vera. Thank you very much.
To start a college in Kenya and the rest of Africa is not a bad idea because we're lacking opportunities for further education. But to start a college just to give papers to people, well, there are already enough colleges just to do that, will actually be unfair. And so Dalk Education was started on a different basis, that we found a gap in education system. A number of gifted or talented people that could not be able to write examinations were locked out because they performed dismally by getting low grades in national examinations. And so such was the case for a number of young girls that dropped from the mainstream school system because of pregnancy at various stages of their learning. Such is one girl that was in a top national school, and this girl was among the top best 5 students in that school and had the potential to score an average grade A in the national examination at the end of Form 4. But this girl became pregnant in February and had to deliver in October and had to take that examination from a hospital bed. You don't expect much from such a girl, do you? You don't, because she can't revise, she can't concentrate, and there's a lot of stigma on this girl. Then we went to Nyahururu on a rainy day, and on that day, police were trying to rid the streets from the street boys that had become a menace in that town. And these boys had formed a habit of running away from the police by crawling under a water pipe hanging over a river. And we caught up with Stephen, and we assessed him for his natural talents. We found him to be nearly gifted. And after assessing him, we decided to put him on a program that he can manage. Then we proceeded to the coastal town of Mombasa, and we found a number of youth that had dropped out of school because they could not cope with the learning styles. Dropped out of school because they were coming from difficult families. They started into drugs and now were big drug addicts. We reclaimed them and put them on manageable education programs and are able to even graduate today. Then there are a number of young men that have witnessed what we do and have come to my office, put a gun on the table and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm tired of this. I dropped in Form 2 and I want to continue my education. You said last time on television that you have something to do for us. Can you do it?" Then I say to them, "Yes, I can assess you for your natural gifts and talents and put you in a program that you can manage." And off they go. They start their programs. Then came the guys who never got the cutoff grades to join universities or colleges because he panicked in exams, he lacked school fees, was sick the last 2 months of exams, was bereaved the last 3 months to exams, and therefore got a D+, and decided that enough was it, because there was no chance even to repeat. So they decided they're looking for a job, starting as a sweeper, climbing as a clerk, moving on as a supervisor. Now the head of the institution probably has his own large or middle class kind of institution. And then there are the guys who are naturally good with their language, good in mobilization and lobbying within communities. He's a great community player. He has been nominated as the councillor. He was last nominated as member of parliament. He wants to vie for the seat. Now they've changed the rules for him. They say to him, look here, if you want to become member of parliament, if you want to become a governor, if you want to become a senator, if you want to become a president, we don't care about your leadership qualities. We don't care how nice you can speak to the people. We don't care how good you can lobby the guys. We're going to lock you out using a clause known as a degree. Now you're looking for a way in which you can get that degree. Then they remind you, for you to enter our program, you must get a mean grade of C+. You never got it. You dropped out in Form 2. But you're good, you know what you're doing. It's being seen out there. They are even sending their own graduates to come in and do attachments in your institution. But when you go into their own institution, they tell you, we can't admit you. Now we're finding these gaps in education that somebody has to fill in, and that's where we came in. So when we say that we want to do something new, something refreshing, that will try to impact newly on this education system, we're not joking about it, we're serious about it. Unfortunately, the people who deal with us in education tell us, you got to follow our set policies. These are the dimensions in which the framework on which you have to operate. But for the parents and for the students who have been locked out, who know that they have potential to do things and change this world, they're saying to us, we want you to do this for us. And therefore, we are asking loudly, what would you like us to do when you have no set policies for this kind of group of people that are increasing by the day in this country, on this continent?
Want to know more? You can contact us at the African Federation for Gifted and Talented. You can also visit the nearest DALK Education campus